Can you still be a good person when everyone's faking it? A philosophical deep dive through Aristotle, Confucius, and Kant. Welcome to my channel, Beta Poetry. I'm thrilled to have you here, and if you've ever felt like you're the only one striving to be genuinely authentic in a world that seems dominated by carefully curated images and superficial goodness, then this video is especially for you. Together, we'll explore what it truly means to live authentically and embrace our unique narratives. In a society that often pressures us to conform, it's vital to remember that vulnerability and honesty can be our greatest strengths. So grab a seat, get comfortable, and let's dive into discussions that celebrate our true selves, fostering a community where real connections thrive beyond the surface. Today, we're diving into a profound and thought-provoking question that strikes at the very essence of our moral existence. Can you still be a good person when so many others around you are merely putting on a facade? This dilemma challenges our understanding of goodness and authenticity in a world dominated by pretense. Many individuals wear masks to conform to societal expectations, often blurring the lines between true virtue and superficial behavior. In navigating these murky waters, we must reflect on our values and the impact of our choices, as true integrity comes from within and resists the urge to mirror the inauthenticity around us. Ultimately, it prompts us to reconsider what it means to live a life aligned with our convictions, even in a sea of duplicity. We're not talking about being good just to gain approval or accolades. This isn't about performing acts of kindness for likes on social media or trying to cultivate an image of virtue that impresses others. The inquiry at hand is about the heart of goodness itself, about being truly and authentically good in a world that often prioritizes appearance over integrity. If you find yourself feeling frustrated or overwhelmed by the pervasive culture of cancellation, the corporate commitment to performative wokeness, and the carefully curated morality of social media, I urge you to stay with me for a moment. The struggle you're grappling with is not just a passing trend. It's a profound philosophical issue that has echoed through history, and it's far from new. From the days of Socratic questioning to the modern debates over free speech, societies have wrestled with the balance between accountability and censorship. Understanding this history can offer perspective and perhaps even solace. Engaging thoughtfully with these challenges empowers us to navigate the complexities of our time with greater clarity and purpose. 2,000 years ago, the great philosopher Aristotle pondered the very nature of goodness. He argued that being virtuous isn't simply about knowing what the right thing to do is. It's about transforming yourself into the kind of person who naturally embodies goodness. This idea, which he termed virtue ethics, suggests that goodness isn't merely a rule we follow, it's a habit we cultivate. By developing virtues such as courage, temperance, and wisdom, we learn to navigate complex moral landscapes more effectively. Aristotle believed that living a good life involves a delicate balance between desires and rational thought. Ultimately, his teachings remind us that character shapes our decisions, leading us toward a more meaningful existence. He famously stated, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. So if we accept Aristotle's wisdom, the next question arises: how do we build habits of goodness in a society that often seems more preoccupied with appearances than with authenticity? In contemporary culture, ethics have devolved into a kind of performance art. When you look around at social media, it becomes clear that people are often rewarded not for their true character, but for the optics of their actions. A well-crafted inspirational quote, a carefully staged protest photo, or a hashtag in a bio, these tend to overshadow the depth of genuine ethical action, transforming virtue into a mere costume we can don for an audience. This spectacle of moral posturing creates an illusion of accountability while allowing individuals to evade the hard work of integrity. The constant pursuit of likes and shares fosters a superficial engagement with important issues, ultimately diluting the substance of meaningful dialogue. As a result, our collective moral compass risks being shaped by the fleeting whims of digital applause rather than by authentic values. When goodness becomes performative, those of us who seek to be genuinely ethical often feel isolated, as if we're shouting into a void. But here's a surprising twist. You're not the first generation to experience these feelings of frustration and loneliness regarding authenticity and moral integrity. Throughout history, countless individuals have grappled with the tension between societal expectations and personal beliefs. The quest for true virtue often leads to a silent camaraderie among those who choose authenticity over popularity. In this shared struggle, we can find solace, reminding ourselves that integrity is not just a personal journey, but a collective endeavor that has the power to foster real change. Consider the life of Confucius, who lived in ancient China during a time marked by social decay, rampant corruption, and a decline in traditional values. Amid this chaos, he advocated for a single, powerful principle, Ren, which embodies benevolence and humaneness. Confucius believed that by cultivating personal virtue and fostering harmonious relationships, society could restore balance and integrity. His teachings emphasized respect for parents and elders, promoting filial piety as a foundation for a moral society. Through dialogues and practical ethics, he sought to create a framework where individuals could achieve personal fulfillment while contributing positively to the greater community. This legacy of humanistic ideals continues to influence modern thought and social ethics across cultures. To Confucius, goodness begins not in grand public declarations or ostentatious displays of virtue, but in the small, everyday relationships we nurture. It's illustrated in how we communicate with our loved ones, treat our friends in need, and extend kindness to those who can't provide any benefit in return. True character, he argued, is forged far away from the limelight, where cameras and applause don't reach. He stated, "The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions." In essence, he called upon us to embody goodness even when no one is watching. This ethos encourages us to prioritize integrity over empty words, reminding us that true character reveals itself through our deeds, not our dialogue. In a world filled with noise and bravado, those who act humbly and decisively are often the ones who inspire real change. By practicing humility and focusing on meaningful contributions, we cultivate a culture of trust and accountability, ultimately uplifting those around us and setting a powerful example for future generations. Yet, here lies the modern dilemma. We live in an all-seeing surveillance society. Virtually every action we take is being observed, rated, liked, and shared. We are overwhelmed by a torrent of optics and impressions, while simultaneously starving for genuine authenticity. The challenge of being virtuous and honest feels monumental when it seems like goodness itself has become just another brand marketed for public consumption. This paradox forces us to navigate a minefield of curated identities, where every post is a performance and every interaction feels transactional. As we strive for connection, we risk losing sight of our true selves, desperately questioning if anyone is authentically listening. Ultimately, the quest for sincerity becomes an act of rebellion against a culture that thrives on superficiality. Enter Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher who sought to refine our understanding of morality to its most essential form. Kant believed that true morality isn't dictated by our feelings or the followers we accumulate. It rests upon a fundamental sense of duty. He taught that we ought to do what is right, not because it feels good, nor for the validation of others, but simply because it is the right thing to do. This duty is encapsulated in his famous categorical imperative, which urges individuals to act only according to maxims that could be universally applied. Ultimately, Kant's philosophy challenges us to rise above personal inclinations and social pressures, urging a commitment to reason and moral law as guiding principles in our lives. Thus, he laid the groundwork for modern ethics, influencing countless thinkers and movements that followed. He articulated his philosophy succinctly, stating, "Act only according to that maxim whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law." This raises a critical query. Would you want to live in a world where everyone acted the way you're acting now? This is the Kantian test, and algorithms can't provide you with the answer. Only you can. Engaging with this principle encourages deep reflection on the implications of your choices and the values they represent. It challenges you to consider not only the immediate consequences of your actions, but also their broader societal impact. In a world driven by technology and convenience, it becomes increasingly vital to ground decisions in ethical reasoning. ensuring that they contribute positively to the collective well-being. Today, the allure of fake goodness is enormous, and it may feel tempting to join in the chorus of performative virtue. But the real antidote to this pressure isn't to amplify our noise or shout louder. It's about diving deeper into our core values. Instead of chasing the fleeting approval of others, we should focus on authenticity, cultivating a genuine sense of purpose that reflects who we truly are. By aligning our actions with our beliefs, we not only foster personal growth, but also encourage those around us to be true to themselves. In a world saturated with superficiality, the quiet strength of sincerity becomes a revolutionary act, inspiring meaningful connections and lasting change. Be ethical even when it's inconvenient. Practice kindness when it will go unnoticed, and strive to be genuine, especially when doing so feels like it could cost you something. True character is forged in the quiet moments, where there are no accolades or applause. If you're feeling exhausted by the pervasive fakeness in our society, I want you to know that you're not alone. That inner discomfort you're experiencing is a sign that your moral compass is still functioning correctly. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, as superficiality often seems to dominate our interactions and experiences. But this awareness can be a catalyst for change. Embracing your authenticity can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that challenges the status quo. Remember, genuine connections and honest conversations are possible. They just require courage and vulnerability. By staying true to your values, you can help foster a more transparent and meaningful world. So the next time you come across someone who seems to be performing virtue, take a moment to ask yourself, are they putting on a show, or are they genuinely practicing goodness? And then turn that inquiry inward. Am I doing the same? It's easy to slip into the habit of showcasing our own kindness for the sake of appearance, seeking validation rather than embodying true compassion. Reflecting on our motivations can reveal whether our actions stem from a sincere desire to help or merely an instinct to be seen as virtuous. Ultimately, cultivating authentic goodness requires honesty with ourselves and a commitment to acting selflessly, even when no one is watching. Because let's be clear, being truly good in a world saturated with facades isn't a sign of naivete. It represents a radical and revolutionary stance against the tide of inauthenticity. In a society often driven by superficial appearances, choosing honesty and kindness requires enormous courage and conviction. It challenges us to look beyond the masks that people wear and to engage with the raw essence of humanity. This pursuit of genuine goodness can inspire others to reflect on their own values, creating a ripple effect that has the power to transform communities and foster deeper connections, ultimately illuminating a path towards a more compassionate and authentic existence. I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever wrestled with the challenge of maintaining authenticity in a performative world? In an age dominated by social media, it can be easy to get caught up in projecting a polished image rather than embracing our genuine selves. The pressure to curate our lives often leads to a disconnect between who we are and how we present ourselves to others. This struggle raises important questions about identity and self-worth, forcing us to confront the fine line between authenticity and performance in our daily interactions. I look forward to hearing your experiences and insights on navigating this complex journey. If you found value in this exploration, please like this video, share it with others, and consider subscribing to the channel for more raw, unfiltered content that seeks to ask the essential questions that others might shy away from. Your support not only encourages creators like us to continue our quest for truth, but also helps foster a community of open-minded thinkers eager to engage in meaningful discussions. Each share and subscription amplifies the reach of these important conversations, allowing us to challenge norms and think critically about the world around us. Together, we can cultivate a space where curiosity thrives and diverse perspectives are welcomed and explored. Remember, you are not alone in this journey of seeking authenticity. You're not losing your mind. You're simply striving for honesty in a world that often leans heavily on filters and facades. And that pursuit of truth and authenticity is undoubtedly worth every ounce of effort and commitment you can muster. Thank you for being here, and let's continue to fight for what's real together. In a world increasingly clouded by misinformation and superficiality, Each of us has a role to play in clarifying the noise and shining a light on genuine values. Our shared journey will not always be easy, but the connections we cultivate and the truths we uncover will fortify our resolve. By standing united, we can inspire others to join us, creating a ripple effect that challenges complacency and fosters a deeper understanding of our collective reality.